Airlines last month, the CEO, he announced of all the hiring for all the new pilots that are coming up this year, all the hiring for the new pilots, the main focus is going to be diversity. What? Diversity? Not the best pilots you can find? The ones with the most hours of experience?
These 5 comedians stood against the rise of woke culture, a social movement advocating for heightened awareness of social issues and political correctness, often at the expense of free speech and open dialogue. Unafraid to challenge societal norms and call out hypocrisy, these comedians refuse to tone down their humor, even when faced with controversy and calls for censorship.
To be honest, I think it's like they're both at their extremes, back to back, thinking and being the same way. Whether it's the left, you're here, and they're complaining about something, and it's not too far removed from the right on this side complaining, but they are back to back and complaining. But I do think the left is...
Rob Schneider, the unapologetic comedian, one of the most vocal critics of woke culture, is comedian and actor Rob Schneider, known for his work on Saturday Night Live and comedic roles in films like Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. Schneider has openly criticized the entertainment industry's tendency to censor comedic expression in favor of political correctness. He's voiced his opinions on several occasions, calling out the current state of comedy as restrictive.
And unfortunately, show business has been a big part of this censorship. If you do speak out of line, if you dare to not be one part of the one-party system, you're out, and you're out forever. So,
in a 2022 interview with Glenn Beck on the Glenn Beck podcast, Schneider discussed how comedy has become a minefield, stating that the fear of offending someone has led to the death of authentic humor. Schneider explained how woke culture has put comedians under intense scrutiny, forcing them to constantly police their jokes. He laments that the pressure to avoid sensitive topics ultimately leads to watered-down comedy. Schneider also criticized Saturday Night Live, the very show that helped launch his career. He specifically called out the show's tendency to align with one political side and push a more woke narrative, losing the neutral satirical edge it once had. His refusal to stay silent and his willingness to criticize the very industry that elevated him demonstrate his resistance to woke culture's impact on comedy.
What if I was Chinese, but born in this nigga body? That's not funny. And for the rest of my life, I had to go around making that face. Hey everybody, I'm Chinese! And everyone get mad. Stop making that face. That's offensive. What? This is how I feel inside.
Dave Chappelle, the master of unfiltered truth. Dave Chappelle is arguably the most prominent figure in comedy today when it comes to resisting woke culture. Known for his ability to tackle sensitive topics like race, gender, and politics head-on, Chappelle's comedic style is unapologetically raw. In his latest Netflix special, The Closer, released in 2021, Chappelle delivered a series of jokes and commentary that addressed some of the most controversial issues of our time, including LGBTQ+ rights, trans identity, and cancel culture itself. The special drew massive attention and was quickly labeled transphobic by some activists and critics, who argued that his jokes about the trans community were offensive and harmful. However, Chappelle defended his right to make jokes about any topic, arguing that comedy's role is to provoke thought and discussion, not to reinforce social boundaries. At one point in the special, Chappelle declared, "If this is what being canceled is like, I love it," emphasizing his unwillingness to be silenced by public outrage.
Hey, if you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm gonna try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you. That's what the audience sounds like to me. That's why I don't be coming out doing comedy all the time, because y'all niggas is the worst motherfuckers I've ever tried to entertain in my fuck.
Despite the backlash and calls to have his special removed from Netflix, Chappelle remained steadfast in his position, and Netflix stood by him. He later addressed the controversy in a live show, further reiterating his stance on free speech and his belief that no topic should be off limits to comedians. Chappelle's refusal to censor his humor for the sake of conformity makes him a crucial figure in the conversation around woke culture and comedy.
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off.
Ricky Gervais, the critic of Hollywood's woke hypocrisy. Ricky Gervais, the British comedian and creator of The Office, has been a relentless critic of woke culture and what he perceives as its hypocrisy, particularly in Hollywood. Gervais's approach to comedy is rooted in the belief that no subject is too taboo to joke about, and he often pokes fun at the self-righteousness of celebrities who use their platforms to preach social justice while ignoring their own contradictions. One of the most striking examples of Gervais's defiance of woke culture came during his hosting of the 2020 Golden Globe Awards. Gervais used his opening monologue to roast Hollywood's elite, mocking their virtue signaling and calling out their connections to large corporations with dubious ethical practices. With lines like, "You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world." Gervais left the audience stunned and garnered a mix of laughter, shock, and applause. Gervais's comedy extends beyond just his award show appearances. In his stand-up specials and interviews, he has openly critiqued woke culture for stifling free speech and creativity. He believes that comedy should be allowed to explore the uncomfortable and the offensive, as it's a reflection of reality. His stance is clear: laughter shouldn't come with caveats, and comedians shouldn't be afraid of pushing the envelope.
Right, listen, I'm not saying the points that they're making don't need to be made. I'm not saying that their complaints are not just, it's the execution of it.
Yes.
Where it's like you're gonna go through intimidation and destroying people, like
exactly
people's careers, and people, you have to publicly apologize. It's like
they're bullying people.
Yes.
Bill Burr unflinching commentary on modern society. Bill Burr is known for his candid, no-holds-barred approach to comedy. With a style that can best be described as brutally honest, Burr's commentary covers everything from relationships to politics, often pushing against the expectations of woke culture. Burr has been critical of the increasing sensitivity within society, arguing that it's turning comedy into a sanitized and lifeless art form. In his Netflix special, Paper Tiger. Released in 2019, Burr takes on various social issues, including political correctness, Me Too, and gender dynamics, all with his signature unfiltered perspective. His willingness to take on these topics head-on has made him a lightning rod for both criticism and praise. Burr often challenges the inconsistencies within social justice movements, poking fun at how outraged culture tends to jump to conclusions without considering nuance.
That's fucking idiots. What kind of a fucking idiot white person refers to themselves as woke? You know, if you actually were socially conscious, you'd realize that white people stole that word from black people. Once again, doing the Elvis thing, right? But you know what? I blame black people for that. One of them fucked up. They were at a party, there was white people there, and they let it slip out. Stay woke, however the fuck you say it, and some white person heard it like, who is that? Oh my God.
During an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Burr commented on cancel culture and its effect on comedy, saying, "Everybody has something they can get canceled for. We're all in glass houses." He stands firm on the idea that comedy's role is to be a place for free expression, not moral lectures. Burr's humor often points out the absurdities of modern culture, and he refuses to compromise his style to appease the woke crowd.
So what they think is this is their time. This is their time to get back at men. This is their time to yell at men. This is the time to wear the future is feminine t-shirts. This is the time to take their stand. And did you not see the Women's March? Saw a bunch of people walking.
Joe Rogan, the podcaster who questions woke narratives, Joe Rogan, stand-up comedian and host of The Joe Rogan Experience, has become one of the most influential voices in the comedy and podcasting world. While Rogan is not a traditional stand-up comic in every sense, his show, which reaches millions of listeners, has made him a cultural commentator on a wide range of issues, including woke culture, cancel culture, and free speech. Rogan has consistently criticized the limitations that woke culture places on comedians and public figures, arguing that society has become too sensitive and reactionary. On his podcast, Rogan frequently discusses how the current climate is driving people away from having open, honest conversations as they fear being labeled or attacked for saying the wrong thing. He has had several comedians and public figures on his show to discuss the impact of cancel culture on their careers in the comedy scene in general. In his stand-up specials, Rogan covers a broad array of topics, including politics, social justice, and societal norms. He often questions the rules set by woke culture and emphasizes the importance of challenging ideas through humor. Rogan's refusal to adhere to any particular ideology makes him a notable figure in the conversation on free speech and comedy, and his openness to discussing controversial topics without restraint has made him a divisive yet influential voice in the entertainment industry. If you enjoyed hearing about these fearless comedians who push back against woke culture, make sure to like, share, and comment with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the bold voices shaping comedy and entertainment today.